We play and call it work.
Hey everybody, Matthew and Steve here from MiniWarGaming.com, and welcome to the second part of our White Scars review. As usual, hopefully you've already gone back and watched the first part and seen the battle report between Dave and Quirk, White Scars versus Orcs. Today we're going to continue our review by talking about the main detachment, the Scarblade Strike Force. We'll also talk about the formations and maybe how things would fit into a combined arms detachment, allied detachments as well, and to see how else you could use them, because there's definitely more than one way to build this. Or even a Gladius Strike Force. You can still use a Gladius Strike Force. And as usual, there will be a battle report after this, and there will be a link in the video description below. It'll be White Scars versus something. As of filming this, it's not done yet, so I don't know exactly what it's going to be. But it'll be White Scars versus something or other, available to our Vault members at the link below. So after you're done watching this, or if you don't feel like watching this, go ahead and click that right now and check out how they fare. So we got our Scarblade Strike Force. So this is the replacement to the Gladius Strike Force.
The White Scars detachment of formations.
Yes, exactly. It's their Decurion. I think we can stop calling it that now because we've got so many of these out now.
Unfortunately, I think most people are still calling them the Decurions.
Well, Necrons were the first to do it.
And yeah, so it's just easier to...
Yeah. But the cool thing about this is because it's an expansion, they were able to draw on a lot of the formations from the Space Marine Codex. And so this one works just like the Gladius Strike Force in that you have your core, auxiliary, and command choices. And they even say, well, basically you can bring 1 to 2 core, 0 to 3 command, and then 1 plus auxiliary. But on the list of auxiliary, let's start with core actually. On the list of core, one of them is the Battle Demi Company. So you can bring a Battle Demi Company and then bring some auxiliary choices that are formations from this book. And it also has 2 new core choices, whereas the Space Marine Codex only has 1 core.
Right.
Most of them only have 1. So this is an expansion, and it produces 2 new core formations. That seems pretty awesome that they would, for an expansion army, give them not just, on top of the first one, 2 new ways to play them as a core thing. Even the new Tau didn't have that, the Space Marines don't have that, the Eldar didn't have that, all these, they all have 1 core.
Well, if you want to use the Gladius Strike Force, you can't really add these ones in here.
No.
Because the Gladius Strike Force has its own special bonus rules.
Yes.
This will have a different set of special rules, but will use a lot of the same formations, if you choose to.
But why would they, I'm not complaining, I think this is cool, but why would they add 2 new core? Why not have a core and then take the other one and just make it an auxiliary? Why did they provide them with 2 new core? Because you're allowed to bring 1 or 2 core, so it's not like it's a limiting thing. Although you could look at that.
I haven't noticed, maybe you can answer this question, maybe it might answer your question. Is there a extra bonus for having 2 core?
No.
There isn't one.
See, in the Gladius Strike Force, if you brought 2 Demi Companies, one with the captain, one with the chaplain, then you got the free transports.
Right.
But this one, no.
No option for that in this one here.
No. And I'm not even sure if the double battle Demi Company would give you the free transports in this one.
Yeah, I'm not finding
off the top of my head.
Here.
I'm not sure if it's the Gladius Strike Force that does that or the Battle Demi Company.
It is the Gladius Strike Force that does that.
Okay, so it's not just if you bring 2 Battle Demi Companies you
Correct.
can get that. Okay, so you have to have the detachment. So it seems strange. It's cool. I don't think there's any negative aspect to it. It's just interesting that for an expansion they got 2 extra core. And these let you play the White Scars in 2 dramatically different play styles, but both still focusing on their speed. But before we get to that, let's talk about the overall army-wide rules. So let's start with the White Scars chapter tactics, because if you want to use this attachment, and most of the formations, or some of the formations, you need to be White Scars.
Yeah.
Some of the formations presented here make it seem like you can not bring White Scars, that you could bring other chapters.
Very interesting, actually.
I don't think that was the intent, and it seems kind of strange because it's in the White Scar supplement, but, you know, I don't know if there's much of a discussion to be had there. It's more just like, it's written, it's a formation, but it just says that in order to bring the detachment, they must be White Scars.
Right.
It doesn't say the formations have to be White Scars. There is one formation that requires...
We're talking about the Stormlands type of company. I'm sure we'll talk about that later on.
But but even if you look at the other formations and stuff, once again, when you look at that, there's nothing restricting them to bringing White Scar specific units.
Well, there you go.
So theoretically, you could use these other formations. The only one that you wouldn't be able to use is the Hunting Force, because... Actually, no, even then you could. Because it just says that Corsaro Khan may be taken in place of the captain.
Yep.
It doesn't say he has to. So really, rules is written. You have access, every chapter has access to these new formations.
You have yourself a Iron Hands painted army. You want to buy
Kaoyan.
For a bunch more formations, and I can't see a reason why you couldn't.
Now you can't bring these formations in the Gladius Strike Force,
Correct.
nor can you bring the Scar Blade Strike Force if you're not White Scars.
Correct.
So the detachment is limited.
Yeah.
But the formation is getting tacked on to a Combined Arms Detachment or a Gladius Strike Force.
But more formations is not a bad thing.
Yeah, yeah. So overall, let's talk about if you're White Scars. What it means by you're required to be a White Scars is you need to be a Space Marine with White Scars chapter tactics, and that involves two main things. What are those main things?
Born in the Saddle, which is my absolute favorite of all the chapter tactics. It basically it gives you Skilled Rider, +1 to your Jinx save, and move through cover.
On bikes only.
Which is
It's important because you
important.
could be jinking with your land speeders, and they don't get the +1 jink.
Skilled Rider for bikes. So I mean that's awesome.
And you get the +1 strength to Hammer of Wrath.
Oh, that's right. You also get that too. It's correct.
Yeah. Once again, just for bikes. And then the rest of the army gets, or including the bikes, gets hit and run. So that's the two main things. Everybody can hit and run.
Having a whole army of hit and run is pretty good as well.
Yeah, it gives you a lot more control.
Exactly, control.
And that's what you look at. When you're a fast army that can kind of pick and choose how they're going to do their assaults. Like, okay, I'll hit you hard, do a lot of damage. Okay, I didn't do a lot of damage. I'd rather not get into a grind here because I'm a fast army. The last thing I want to do is get pinned down. Then during your turn...
Sometimes you just want to protect one of your good shooting units in combat for a turn.
Yeah.
And then run them out on your turn, or on your opponent's turn, and start firing again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And because they're on bikes, they're relentless, so they can fire their heavy weapons, their rapid fire weapons, and still get that charge in.
All your grav guns.
So this is nothing new. This White Scars chapter tactics that's available in the Space Marine Codex. Now when you add on this attachment, it synergizes really well. Because everything in this attachment gets 3 new things. First is Lightning Assault, which they can re-roll failed initiative tests when doing hit and run. So their hit and run gets upgraded.
Which is going to help the regular squads that don't have characters in them.
Well, initiative 4 already,
you're
making it
2/3 chance,
two-thirds of the time. When you make that a re-roll,
they're going to get out.
Yeah, it's much more likely that they're going to get out. So it makes a much more efficient hit and run. They have Ride the Wind. This one I don't know how often you're going to use, maybe for grabbing objectives.
Yeah, maybe.
If you flat out or turbo boost, you get to move d6 inches further. Unless you're a flyer or fast vehicle, so there are little skimmers here, in which case they get to go 2d6 inches.
It could make a difference for a point for your card for a turn. But, I mean, you're not building your army based on that special rule right there.
Well, there is a formation that lets you flat out after you shoot. So it could really synergize well with that one.
That could go well.
Yeah.
Yeah, free rules like that, you can make your army around, but they're nice little bonuses.
Yeah, well, it gives you more mobility. It kind of dictates how the playstyle that you want to do. And lastly, we have Maximum Impact.
Right. So if you charge from 8 inches or further away, your Hammer of Wrath, you have to reroll your wounds for Hammer of Wrath, and you gain Fleet, I believe?
No, you gain Hammer of Wrath if you don't have it already.
Gain Hammer of Wrath, you already have it, okay.
So your tactical squads, if they charge 8 inches, then they gain Hammer of Wrath, which is nice.
I don't like it.
No, you don't like
I don't want to charge from that far away.
But what if you already are that far away?
Yeah, I'm probably not going to charge. I wouldn't have moved my units 8 inches away from my opponent.
Yeah.
I would have stayed farther back.
Unless they ran away, or your shooting was more effective than you
Well,
thought it would
unless
be.
they're just really, really bad in combat.
Or they're actually far away, and you're trying to get to them. They're 20 inches
Needing
away.
across the board?
So you move 12 inches, and you're still 8 inches away. Then you're like, I really want to make that charge, and while we're at it, I'm going to run you over.
Yeah, again, it's not spectacular. It's one of those free whatever rules.
Yeah, I think the rerolling hit and run and the extra flat out and turbo boosting move will come into play a lot more often. Now there is that
overall, this is going to be really good. Actually, I don't want to say anything negative about this. Actually, I'm very, very interested in this. It actually sounds really good.
Now remember with the banner, it gives everybody fleet within 12 inches. So,
yeah,
so that could give you the incentive.
That right there is a reason to use that banner, and then you can risk these 8-inch charges.
Yeah. Yeah, because maybe you just need that. Maybe you're going up against orcs and there's just a lot of bodies. And so, but then you might just want to get closer and then rapid fire them to death anyways, so. Yeah, it'll be circumstantial.
It's an option on the table.
It's like the orc one that came out with Thraka. Gasco Thraka. I don't know why all of a sudden I couldn't think of that. But the supplement for the orcs that came out a long time ago, if you bring his detachment, if you have at least 10 boys in the squad, then and they charge 10 inches, then they gain Hammer of Wrath.
Oh, okay. Well,
It didn't. You never saw it happen.
no, but actually, for them, you have to roll a 10 or higher to get the Hammer of Wrath.
That's right.
They didn't have to be a 10 away.
That's right. Because if they went through difficult terrain, it could become an 8-inch
But
charge.
in one of the formations, I can't remember what it's called. It's one of the Chaos ones where it's Karn and the Berserkers. They had a rule where if they rolled an 8, they got some special stuff. But I think they had to actually be 8 away as well. So it made for some overly risky or not wise charges. I could be wrong on that one, but I'm pretty sure it was you had to roll the 8.
Yeah.
And be
So
8
these
away.
kind of things are very circumstantial. Like, yeah, I guess with the orcs they could be 3 inches away, but if they rolled that
Yeah,
10 or
you're looking
higher,
for that 10. This one, you're risking a charge at 8 inches out. Unless you have fleet,
even then, an 8-inch charge is uncomfortable.
yeah.
Fleet is nice rather than just re-rolling it all together, because then you can just keep your good die and re-roll the other
Don't
one.
get me wrong, we all have attempted 8, 9 inch, 10 inch charges.
Oh, all the time.
It happens all the time.
Yeah, it's just that you're not going to put your guys 8 inches away when you could be
You're
closer.
not going to base your army on this rule.
No.
You're not going to. It's not going to help you make your list.
You're just going to take advantage of it when
Yeah.
it comes up. So I really think that re-rolling hit and run and the extra flat out and turbo boosting,
Rerolling hit and run is my favorite. I think that's really, really good.
yeah, makes it much more dependable. So like I said before, to bring this attachment requires 1 to 2 core, 0 to 3 command, and 1 plus auxiliary. And the cool thing is they brought in a lot of the formations from the Space Marine Codex. So we got the 3 command things.
Yeah.
None of that has changed.
Same things.
We've got the Battle Demi Company as one of the core. And then formation-wise, we've got 10 formations, 8 of which came from the
Yeah.
Space Marine Codex. And as far as I see,
I think
that's not all of them.
I'm not
There's
seeing what's missing.
well, hold on. Let's see how many are actually in the Space Marine Codex.
Armor Task Force here, First Combat Task Force here, 10th
Well, I can just
Combat
count.
Task Force.
I can just count. We don't have to try to memorize it or anything. Gladius Strike Force has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, you're right.
Yeah,
There's 8.
that's all of them. So all the formations.
Oh wait, no, the Librarius Conclave.
That is under command. That's a
Oh, it
command.
becomes. Oh no, that is a command.
Yep.
Yeah, they're all there.
Yeah, yeah. So it's basically all the stuff we already had in the Codex, the Space Marines, but some more.
Okay.
4 more formations and a different. Set
See, I
of
had figured they would have
rules.
taken out some, but they did not.
It's a pure add-on, just extra more for you.
That's cool. That's actually really cool. So they have everything from the Space Marine Codex, plus 4 more formations. So we're going to walk through all 4 of those formations in this video, and hopefully, and I believe in the one battle report you saw one of the core, and then the other battle report is going to show the other core, because one of them is infantry based and one of them is bike based.
Yep.
So let's talk about the bike based one first, because I think that's what everybody's expecting. So that is the hunting force core choice. So just briefly, the formation consists of a captain, possibly a chaplain command squad, has to bring 2 to 5 bike squads, 1 to 3 attack bike squads, and 1 to 3 scout bike squads. And any models like the captains or chaplains or command squads have to be brought on a bike. And you can, instead of a captain, bring Corsaro Khan, and he has to be equipped with his special bike, the Moon Draken. What does it do?
Okay, so you're getting a couple special rules. You're getting the Hunter's Prey and Thunderous Assault. Hunter's Prey is okay. It's interesting. You have to nominate some targets. First of all, you got to name it a primary. What's the word you're using?
Well, an HQ. You have to start with an HQ.
Doesn't give it actual. Just a target for your prey. So it's going to be the enemy HQ. It has to be the enemy HQ for the first one, and you get some special rules. I already forgot them.
You get to reroll
we
to
just
hits.
talked to all these.
I know. Okay, well, you get to reroll your hits and your wounds against them, attacking or an assault or shooting, and you gain Furious Charge if you charge that one.
Yeah.
But before that all happens, you have to choose a secondary and a tertiary
Yeah.
target as well. But you only get the bonuses against the current target. So once you kill the primary target, then the secondary target becomes your prey. And then you get to reroll hits and wounds.
Against them, and
And then you get your tertiary. So it's an interesting way of thinking about it, because you have to announce this before, after deployment.
which is the key deal.
Excuse me. Yeah, because it was before, then your opponent could just choose to hide it.
So you look at your opponent's deployment, and well, I'm going to go for that HQ unit, and then I'm going for
that
them,
unit.
and then after that they're next, and like that's
It's kind of fun.
exactly. It should be it'll make a more fun game.
And
For sure.
I think it'll be tactical for the first one, and then just kind of circumstantial for the second and third target. Because when does it come
Might
up?
be enough to get into your opponent's head and make him, it will dictate movements on both sides of the table.
Yes, for sure. But I think the real bonus comes with the other special rule, which is Thunderous Assault. Essentially, if you have at least 5 models in a squad, you gain 2 hits per Hammer of Wrath. Now, if you somehow get your 8-inch charge off, These are 2 hits, and extra strength,
Yeah.
re-rolling.
Yeah.
That is pretty big. That's a lot of extra hits.
The only downside is you have to have 5 more models, and the squad can only be 6 max.
Yeah.
Only downside. But yeah, I actually like that rule where I'm going to want to charge all my bikes in.
Yeah, so
I'll take it
you
every
bring
time.
squads of 6, or you have like a captain or chaplain attached to it, and you'll be getting an extra Hammer of Wrath. So you also have to look at this formation though as a way to bring an all bike army.
Yeah.
And get all the extra bonuses like the re-rolling hit and run, the extra turbo boosting, and the 8-inch charge thing, which is circumstantial. But still, it allows you to bring it all within this force. So even if the formation's special rules itself aren't great, it combines with White Scar chapter tactics and the detachments.
It's all coming together for a very different type of Space Marine, but not game-breakingly good, and not bad either.
Yeah. Now, to be honest, I think it might still be more effective to just play the White Scars in a CAD, in a Combined Arms Detachment, because when you bring a captain with a bike, all of a sudden those bike squads become troop choices. They'll gain secure objective secured, which they're bikes, they want to do that. And on top of that, you still have access to the Warlord traits and the relics from this book. They're not limited to this detachment, they're just limited to White Scars.
With the information we've discussed so far, I actually agree with you. Combined Arms is better than anything so far.
Yeah. You don't get the re-rolling hit and run, you don't get the extra movement with your turbo boosting, but
You're going to maintain your skilled rider, which is the big one.
yeah.
Which is just your chapter tactic.
And I think you might be thinking, well, that's just not the supplement, you're just using the Space Marine Codex, and that's kind of true. But we already, in our previous video, talked about the relics, and I think the relics are a big boon
Yeah, for sure.
to what they want to do. Gaining like their special banner, getting those extra special weapons, Librarian getting that extra psychic power. You just take that aspect of it and throw it into a Combined Arms Detachment of White Scars.
Now you're talking more like not power gaming, almost playing for most effectively.
Yeah.
Now this here could be just really fun. I mean, we've played campaign games where we would make up a scenario very similar to this. The rules used in this detachment here or formation here. So would be very fun to play.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
But I think it's still effective, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, no.
I'm just thinking that for this formation in particular, I'm talking about, if I was to bring a bike army for White Scars, I still think I'd want a CAD rather than this detachment.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the other one, because this other one is super cool.
This one is so good that I want to use the Combined Arms Detachment with bikes and this.
Well, you could do that.
Yes.
'Cause you
This is
can
what I-
ally them in because you're not using allied detachment, right? So this is a Stormlance Battle Demi Company.
So it's the White Scars only. Well, no, it's not, is it? Okay, we've got a new Battle Demi Company. We have one in the Dark Angels book and the Space Marine book, and here's the third one. And it's 1 captain or chaplain, 0 to 1 command squad, 3 tactical squads, 1 devastator, and then 1 unit chosen from assault squad, bike squad, attack bike squad, or land speeders. I think it's almost exactly like the Space Marine Demi Company.
It doesn't have access to the Centurions, doesn't have
Are
access
they
to Dreadnoughts.
Oh
yeah.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Yeah. That's why you'd
And-
always see them, because they were one of the compulsory things.
Okay.
Either Devastators or Centurion Devastators, or there's another choice too. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Only 1 unit chosen though is like everything in the fast attack. You have 1 assault bike, attack bike, or land spears. You want multiples of them.
Yeah.
But okay, so you get some different.
This is a Demi Company. You could bring 2 of these, remember?
Yeah, but you want 60 tactical marines on the table? I mean, maybe
You don't have to bring 60. There are 3 tactical squads. It doesn't say max.
Oh, that's true. That's
It doesn't
true.
max them out
So
of
you
10.
got 30.
You can bring a bunch of MSUs.
Which could actually work because the restriction this unit is, or this formation is all non-vehicle units in the formation not equipped with jump packs or Space Marine bikes must be embarked upon a Rhino or Razorback. So now we
So
obviously
that makes an implication.
yeah. Obviously this thing is supposed to be mobile.
Yeah, but the implication is that you must take
Must.
their dedicated transports. Now there are ways.
Well, it doesn't give the option for the draw pod. It's Razorback or Rhino.
Yeah, exactly. So there are ways that you could say, well, they don't have to bring a dedicated transport because somebody else could bring a Rhino, and then but as long as it's not a dedicated transport. Can you bring Razorbacks and Rhinos in a
Yes.
Combined Arms Attachment? Just as like fast attack
Yes.
choices? So that you could do that and stick them in there. But when you see the rules, you realize, well, you don't want to do that. So really, it should say under restrictions, every squad.
Must start the game embarked upon. So buy it fast or buy it dedicated. The captain's gonna be, or the character's gonna be in it.
Yeah,
So everybody's gonna be in a vehicle.
yeah. And it's important, you want it to be dedicated anyways, as we're going to see in just a moment,
Yeah.
because of their 2 special rules. Now the first one, Clear and Sweep, is pretty cool. It's actually very powerful. You get to re-roll failed to hit rolls. So you get twin linked, in the shooting phase when targeting an enemy unit that is controlling an objective marker.
Guarantee there's going to be an enemy controlled objective marker nearby.
Well, and usually you're
Almost
going
always.
for them.
Yeah.
You're like, I want that objective. You're taking it. I don't have objective secured because I'm in my Stormlance Battle Dummy Company rather than the CAD.
Bonus
so I'm going
roll
to come
for
up
exactly what I want to do.
and I get twin linked against you.
Perfect.
Now my bikes already have twin link bolters, but imagine the grav guns, the plasma guns, the meltas.
All the grav cannons and all the tactical squads. Everybody's
Yeah, the tactical squad sitting back with their last cannons, which always seem to roll their 1s and 2s. So also you get twin linked on all that.
Yeah, it's all very good.
And it
stuff.
allows you to re-roll your gets hot for your plasma cannons. So it's just nice overall.
Having that Devastator squad sit in the corner, knowing that it's going to be reliably firing 4 missiles or last cannons onto something trying to hold an objective, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, especially if you stick the guy with the relic with ignore cover. Twin link ignore cover.
Absolutely.
Hey, that sounds familiar. This is just Tau. This guy is a space
Well, they
marine.
got to fight till they have to adapt to their enemy's tactics.
That's right. In other words,
Copy and
copy
paste.
them.
Now that sounds like a really good special rule. And that's not even the best of the two.
No, that is not even why I think this one's cool. We got the mobile fire base.
So good.
Let's start off simple.
Yes.
It simply means that you get to move after you shoot. Bikes and jump packs move 2d6 inches, and other units, in other words infantry, the tactical marines and devastators move d6 inches. Not a big deal, right?
Actually, that is pretty big. But there's more.
I know. I was being sarcastic. It's battle focused because an infantry unit moving d6 inches, that's just a run.
And
now it doesn't specify it as a run. It's important it doesn't specify as a run because if
Correct.
you have that banner nearby that gives fleet,
Correct.
they don't get to re-roll this.
True.
They're just doing a move in the shooting phase. So, rules is written, they don't get any bonuses from that. But
Okay.
I'll let you do the honors.
So, if you could, that 2d6 move, it puts you back, the entire squad, if they're infantry, if it puts them back within 3 inches of your transport, 2 inches? It's 2 inches.
Yeah,
If it puts them
embarking.
back within 2 inches of the transport's access point, they get back in the vehicle. So you can take your...
It's the Harlequin thing.
Oh, man.
Except not from combat, but from shooting.
You can take your 5-man squad with a, I don't know, say grav gun or plasma gun, doesn't matter, whatever, in a Razorback, or a full 10-man in a Rhino. You get out, shoot. You get back in, can't shoot me.
Yeah, until you kill my rhino.
Like, it's just,
Oh, and you gain twin
so-
linked against somebody who's on an objective.
It's so good. Like, okay, the power gamer in me kind of like, I might want to take advantage of this. I'm switching armies here. Like that, you can really take advantage of that.
The Devastator squad kind of sucks because they must start in a Rhino or Razorback. And so you're going to spend the first turn not at full ballistic skill because all their weapons are, unless you're doing grav cannons.
I'll take that punishment. That is the tax in this formation.
It feels like it, yeah. Because you could, if you don't like the fact that there's only 3 tactical squads, well, you could bring the assault squad and not give them jump packs, and then swap out their weapons and turn them into a tactical squad.
Well, having an
essentially.
assault squad that can move 12 and then move 2d6 again.
After the shoot.
Yeah.
Now you can't assault if you do this.
Correct, yeah. But I mean, you can get them to the point where they can hide, so hopefully next turn they can assault their target.
It's jetpack moves.
It's jetpack moves.
They're turning into Tau. They're turning into Tau.
Let's get toughness 4 and 3 up armor on a Tau. Give me marker light.
Oh man.
Give me a marker light.
Yeah, no kidding. So that's really cool. I
So
like
good.
the
So
I like the
good.
flavor of it too, not just how competitive it'll be, but the flavor of seeing an army just drive up, turn, drop off 10 guys, they rapid fire into a squad. They can't charge anyways because they just rapid fired, so they just hop back in their vehicle. And you're guaranteed, if you deploy them right, to get back in, even with a d6 roll of 1, because you just put them all within 2 inches to start and fire, or 3 inches because you'll have at least a minimum 1-inch move, and then they can all get back in.
So how you want to use this? Is it 5-man squads and Razorbacks or 10-mans and Rhinos?
Well, either could work. Just depends on the army you're building. I think they're both circumstantial, right? 5-man squads and Razorbacks is cool because you're mining your squad, so you just stick one special weapon in it, and then you have your Razorback with this special weapon, so you drive up. Because that's usually the problem with Razorbacks, right? Is there's no fire points, and so now you have a Razorback with infinite fire points.
Yeah.
Essentially.
That's the thing. So, okay, you got kind of your mind stuck in your Devastators are going to be back here, getting out first turn and picking their fire point. I think you just want grav cannons and you want to keep up with the rest of your army.
And you just take the salvo, what is it,
Get out
3-5?
3-5. Fire off
So
3
you're
shots
firing
per.
3 shots instead of 5.
And you know they're getting back in the vehicle, so they got a lot more protection than you normally would have for a very expensive heavy weapon team.
It's only 12-inch range though, but I guess if you're in a Rhino or a Razorback in this
You
case.
should be able to get to where you need to be.
So, yeah, stick them in a Razorback and away you go. Yeah.
Or even anything. Actually, anything. It's so good.
Yeah, no, I think this is the cool thing, which is ironic that we think the bike one was lackluster. And I'll just bring my bikes into CAD.
Do you think we would have liked it more if we didn't read this one?
Maybe. Yeah, because it is pretty cool. The
Yeah.
bike one is pretty cool. But the bike one just looks like the way I already built my White Scar army.
Right.
Just the bikes as troops, maybe some attack bikes, maybe not the scout bikes.
Actually, they're not bad. I mean, you get Cerberus launcher, you have your scout move, you have infiltrate.
I know, I just wouldn't choose them. That just wouldn't have been my choice. Excuse me. Yeah, and on top of that, you can have your command squad, and you can, because command squad can take a rhino too, can't they? Mm-hmm. And so you can take them, and with their banner and their, oh, well, I guess the banner is not as big a deal because your fleet and furious charge won't be.
I think you more want to be, this army tends more to a shooting army than a combat army.
Yeah, like a special weapon team instead of the command squad.
So as many, special weapons. As
That's
you
one
can
thing they
fit.
didn't have. Their relics aren't really ranged, except for the Terminator, or except for the Librarian one, which is just a psychic range.
Well, I mean, that whole Hunter's Eye is super good. I mean,
that's
all
true.
about
The Hunter's Eye
range.
getting the extra ballistic skill and ignore cover. So, but I just mean there's no ranged weaponry in their relics. So yeah, I think the Stormlance Battle Dumping Company would be the one I'd want to try out.
Oh, for sure.
Like I'd almost bring that into this detachment and min out some sort of extra auxiliary, and then bring a CAD with my bikes.
A lot of times we could say, it looks like a lot of fun. Should be a lot of fun for me to play. I don't know if my opponent's gonna have fun playing it.
Well, it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah,
It's always, I always enjoy a game where my opponent comes to me.
for sure.
Because the games that are harder, like unless I'm just beating the snot out of your Eldar, the games where they just hide in the back tend to kind of get drawn out more, unless you just beat them, which sometimes can happen too. So anyway, but
It is a
armies,
frustrating tactic when the softer stuff kind of hide after they're done doing what they have to do.
I know, right? It's like they had to get out of their vehicle to be effective. No, they didn't.
Now Space Marines can do that annoying Elder stuff too.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna hop out. We're gonna hop back in. Oh, and by the way, if you make us run, we'll just regroup automatically. And so they have a lot of control, which is nice.
Really good.
Okay, so we got our new auxiliary choices, 2 of them. We'll start with the Stormbringer Squadron. This is 1 to 3 units of land speeders and 1 to 3 scout squads. The scout squads must be brought inside of land speeder storms. They're making us do stuff we never do.
You don't like Landspeeder Storms?
I just don't usually bring scouts in them. Like I know that's what the scouts go on, but if I bring scouts, I usually have them like a sniper.
Large Blast Blind?
Okay, so they're good, all right. It's just the fact that you're putting scouts inside of them. It's just like,
Give them close, give them snipers, drop them off somewhere, go blind stuff.
Yeah, but if you're snipers, then you're
It's
heavy
like 100
weapons.
points, Matthew. It's 100 points!
Anyway, the formation is actually pretty cool,
Yes.
despite the fact that I wouldn't normally bring scouts inside of Landspeeder Storms, because they have locate and secure, which just gives the scouts objective secured. That's cool.
Yeah.
They have Outrider support, which gives the Landspeeder Storms +1 to their jink if they're within 6 inches of a Landspeeder from this formation. And when you combine that with White Scars, it does nothing because that's only the bikes that get the extra jink. So they got 3+ jink.
Just pointing it out.
Yeah, just making sure we understand that. And rapid deployment, which allows the scouts to disembark after moving 12 inches.
I actually really like this formation because when you're dropping your objectives, you can comfortably put them all in the center of the table-ish, nothing in either deployment zone, and know that these guys are going to get on them right away.
So when you're going back and forth, you just keep yours in the middle, and if he decides to pile them on one side, then he's the one that's taking the
Your
big
scouts
risk.
are going to infiltrate and then scout. And
Yeah, because
then,
those land speeders infiltrate and scout.
And even the ones that get in your opponent's deployment zone, if they don't have a good secure thing on them, you can get on that right away as well.
Yeah.
Like this is about controlling the board right here.
The fact that they have objective secured tells you they don't even have to care about shooting that thing that's controlling the objective.
Nope.
Let the Demi Company do that with their twin-linked killing guys on the
They're there to
objective.
get the point or stop the opponent from getting the point.
Yeah, now they can't jump back in their transport after they do that. So
They're cheap enough that if they die, if my opponent's firing at these, great. The rest of my army will do good stuff.
yeah, exactly.
I actually think the Stormbringer for Squadron I like it a lot.
And you already want to bring land speeders. Let's
Yeah.
face it. You want to bring multi-melta or double flamer, heavy flamer land speeders.
Escort the what do you call them? The scout land speeders?
Land speeder storms.
Storms.
Yeah, you could take advantage of their +1 jink, or you can just forget that part of it and just let them go up and do their thing. So
I actually like blind a lot. So there's nothing about this formation I don't like.
yeah, and they're fast. So you move 12 inches, you can still fire 2 of your weapons.
This would be my auxiliary, for sure.
Yeah.
My mandatory one.
Yeah, it definitely gives you mobility and table control, which you already have with the other stuff. But if you bring the Stormlance Demi Company, that gives you table control in the sense of I can kind of move around and shoot, and this one gives you table control in the sense of I can get somewhere fast and grab an objective. Now you bring those two together, you don't really have any assaulting capabilities.
But you know what? Okay, I can say this. You put in the Stormbringer Squadron and the Demi Company, which one's called?
Stormlance Demi
Stormlance Demi
Battle
Company
Demi.
is exactly the play style myself and I'm not gonna say everyone, but a lot of other Eldar players do. It's not about the assault, it's about being where I need the bodies to be.
And just gunning your opponent down.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you can also choose to play the White Scars totally as a close combat assault army.
That's the thing. You totally.
No, it's not even totally, because your bikes are still good at shooting
Yeah.
things down. But then your objective is to shoot as you get into combat. Whereas the objective of the Stormbringer Squadron, the Stormlance Battle Demi Company, would be more a shoot and grab control.
Space Marines just got on par, if not near, to the mobility of Eldar in the Maelstrom of War game.
Yeah. And then we have our Spear Tip Strike, which is 1 to 3 units of land speeders, once again. And then you have to choose 2 units, either bikes, attack bikes, or scout bikes. So this is land speeders and bikes, essentially. And no restrictions in there otherwise. They have Strategic Spearhead. Now, basically, in their shooting phase, you choose... This one's really weird, I think.
It is.
You choose Focus Suppression or Harassing Fire. If you choose Focus Suppression, then essentially what you're trying to do is pin the squad. It's something that you're shooting at. So two units from this formation have to fire at it.
Yeah.
And then if they, I think you just automatically cause a pinning test no matter what.
Right. And then for every extra unit from this formation that shoots the same unit, it gets a -2 to the leadership test on the pinning.
Yeah.
So if 3 of them from this formation fire, it's leadership -2. 4 of them, leadership -4.
But that's like using your whole formation
That's
just
the
to
whole
pin one squad.
You can make it relatively cheap by making the attack bike squads single bikes.
Yeah.
You can, the speeders, just keep them really cheap and keep them heavy bolters and no auxiliary weapon. It can be done fairly cheap,
But just to pin something.
just to pin something. So yeah, it doesn't seem...
Now there is the other option.
There's
which
another
is
one I think is better, but...
Harassing Fire is the other option, which is that if they suffer it, they have to actually suffer an unsaved wound. They have to take a leadership test. If they pass it, then nothing happens. But if they fail it, they have a choice. They can either go to ground, so they can be pinned,
Yep.
or they have to, in their next turn, they're provoked. They have to move towards the nearest unit from this formation in its next movement phase, as far as possible in the movement phase. It doesn't say they have to shoot at it or assault it, but it'll dictate their movement. Now, if you've got the brain for it, you could really use that.
That Death Star that you can't get off the objective that you need.
You have to cause a wound, though.
I know, you have to cause a wound and you have to fill leadership, and there's no modifier to leadership on that one.
No, unless you have something else nearby that's giving a negative to their leadership.
I think if you bring this, you're going to try to pin things, because you must take advantage of the rules you have, but you're rarely going to be pulling things off of objectives. I mean, you can, and it might come up in every game, or it worked out well for you, but I'm not going to make my list around this.
No.
It seems too...
I've already got a way to bring bikes.
Too many stars have to
And I've already got a way to bring land speeders. So I don't see the Spear Tip Strike as being a useful one for the White Scars. Other three out of 4 formations are good. 2 out of 4 I think are really good.
Really good.
I wouldn't. If I'm going to play with just bikes, I'll go with a CAD. I still would bring these relics. They're relics.
The
It's
relics.
you'd almost
Hunter's
always
Eye
see me
is
bring 2 or 3
auto
relics.
include. It's in the table every time.
Yeah, you bring a cheap captain just to stick with a Devastator squad, if nothing else, or something.
Oh, just like you just on your bike squad, just on the bike squad if you want.
Ignoring cover bikes.
If you don't have this in your list, I say you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, imagine grav guns on your bikes. They all have relentless, so they're getting their 3 shots.
Nobody's drinking it. Nobody's hiding.
And is ignoring cover.
Yeah, so good. 20 points.
That right there is your killie squad, your Death Star of sorts. Okay, well we've gone over everything. So I hope that you enjoyed this. Go ahead and watch the battle report. White Scars versus, you'll see what it is. It's right there. And of course that is for our Vault members. If you're not a Vault member, it's okay. We still love you. Just click the link, get a free 7-day trial, absolutely no pressure whatsoever to keep it. You can cancel it anytime and get instant access to that battle report plus thousands of other videos that are in the MiniWarGaming Vault, and help support us, because that is how we do this, as our Vault members. So thank you so much if you're already a Vault member. Thank you for watching. Click the link below. Happy wargaming.